my brother, Haj Diop. Put your hands together for Haj, brother Haj. Hey, I love that music. You can't lose with James Brown. What's up, brother? It's drpooch.com. Talk about it.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. What's up, Ja? So, I want to piggyback off of, piggyback. I don't want to use that word. I want to veggie back. There you go. I want to veggie back off of what the final poet said. So, somebody, I forgot who, sent me a post. Now, this was like a newspaper clipping from February 2nd, 1835, right? So we're putting it in the context of about over 100 years ago, right? 1835, way more than 100 years ago. Now, this is Lord Macaulay's address to the British Parliament, okay? So he's addressing the British Parliament. Listen. You know him? Listen to this. I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. Therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose the self-esteem. They will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. Did y'all hear that? This is 1835. We have brothers and sisters walking around today that still think that Africa's full of beggars and naked, dirty people, and you know what I mean? Africa, there was not a beggar. That is not in the African genome, to be a beggar, right? To be a poor person. They say, a lot of people say, well, slavery was in Africa too. But we know through Ibn Battuta, who was an Arab who crossed the, went around and traveled all throughout Africa, we know that the slave and the master, they couldn't tell them apart because they each wore fine silks and the best of clothing. So you couldn't tell the master and the slave apart because the slave and the master, it was the master's responsibility to educate the slave. So the slavery was not equal. The slavery that happened here. This was a total inhumane type of institution that they convinced us that we're from, that this is our legacy. Now our legacy is the richness of Africa. The richest people that ever walked the earth were Africans. How many of us know Timbuktu, Mansa Musa? My man is on right here, you on? Mansa Musa, right? The gold, the whole Gold Coast, right? This man single-handedly controlled the price of gold in the whole world, right? He was a Muslim. He went to Mecca, and during his pilgrimage, he spent so much gold on that way to Mecca that the price of gold was totally devaluated. There was so much abundance of gold everywhere, right? How many of us know a brother named Asher Kwesi? Right?
Come on now.
He said,
he interprets the pyramids. Come on now.
He said, there's somebody that knows something about you that they don't want you to know about yourself.
Don't let me go there.
Let me repeat that. There's something that somebody knows about you that they don't want you to know about yourself. And this gentleman that I just read, right, gentleman, if I could call him, that's a really sick mind to enslave a nation, right? But this person, right, knew something about you that you didn't know about your own history, right? Maybe you did. So African consciousness is not only holding it in the Lemur Park Village, right? Or wearing the threads and having the cowrie shells. It's an African mentality. He said they're spiritual systems. So our spiritual systems were taken away. Our education, everything was taken away. So we have to relearn and reintroduce ourselves into these systems, reinitiate ourselves into these practices so that we can elevate our spirit and become that nation of wealthy people where begging and homelessness is just not seen. The deplorable situation that we see in the back, you know, over here, if y'all frequent this area, this shouldn't be. This is not of our culture. We're in a foreign land right now, which this was our land as well, right? But the system that's being held in this land is foreign to us. A system that allows poverty and hungry children, that's foreign to the African spiritual system. It wasn't a part of Africa. So with that being said, I want to do a little piece. I haven't done this piece in years and years and years. But the brother, Final Poet, wherever he is, he just inspired me to do this piece. It's called Introvert. My energy implodes inside of my chest holes and my flesh swole from the implosions. Yo. Give me no intermediate extremists insist on breathing down my neck, pushing their doctrines boxed in. But they can't stay inactive while they incarcerate the masses. They shatter our glass egos, glorifying inadequate leaders for our people. Won't let us through the doors, we monitor through the peephole. Increase lead roles for insufficient Negroes who only infiltrate to infect our once infamous infantry. Their initial iniquity injecting injury is the main ingredient. Greedy giants institutionalize infrastructures of inhumanity, but my innate innocence inside is an instrument. So anytime you hit me internally, I invoke the infinite. Of course, devils interpret this as insolence and interdict and intercept my insight. In this interstate, one's only intent is to intervene, interrupt, and intercede, intruding my intimacy. They intrigue and intrude, moving on pure intuition, insisting on insolence, invading my intersection, cross-examining my intelligence, swearing it's only an interview, but I'm not fooled, this is a clear investigation, invading my life to see if I'm worth the investments they're making. So, what are you into? Indo or other intoxicants? Inquisitive mobsters, incessant and infuriating me, asking innumerable questions, both inconsistent and indecent. All of this so I can answer your intercom, check your invoice to get an income. Listen, Inspector, my inclination inclines towards independence, so I don't need no insubstantial 50-cent increase to follow your instructions. I have integrity. I'm into me, both intimate and in tune with my ingenuity. An individual, indivisible, playing the infield for all of my life's innings. The fire in me is intense and inexhaustible, so any intent to killing me is impossible. For my soul is interconnected with the most majestics, so if my body's infested and ingested by insects, I'll live on in them in a sort of informal resurrection. Therefore, I can inhabit any and everything on this planet. I can be birthed and insert into anything organic. So if one dies, don't panic, for their being is intact. Allah is God, and life to death he shall bring back. None can invert his infallible plan. The righteous inherit the earth. Inside you is the search. Introvert.